So this blind corner cabinet has some pretty unique features that will help you set it up. First of all, the requested width right now is 42 inches, and that is the width of the actual cabinet box. So you can see here the default setting as it comes in is 42 inches, and if we look at the cabinet here, the actual box is 42 inches. We have the pull, which is the distance that this blind corner is going to be away from the wall on the left side, is 3 inches. So overall, this cabinet is 45 inches away from the corner. The actual box is 42 inches, and you can see that addition over here in pull plus width, and that simply is the width of the box plus the width of the pull, which is 3 inches. You also have these dimensions here, 21 inches, 2, and 19. So you can say that the requested depth is very simply the depth of the cabinet, so that's front to back here. The adjacent cabinet depth is a really important dimension. So what we're saying here is that this adjacent cabinet, or whatever cabinet is going to be butting into the open space here, is going to be 24 inches deep. And you'll see that this face dimension here is 21 inches. So if you add 21 plus 3, which is the pull, you get 24 inches. Now we also need, usually for clearance of hardware and drawers and that sort of thing, some additional clearance. And in this case, we have 2 inches. And you can adjust that over here. So let's go through these settings. We'll leave the requested width alone for the moment and the requested depth, but let's change this first dimension here, the adjacent cabinet clearance, which is at 2 inches. So let's go ahead and change that to 4 and see what happens. So if I type in 4 and hit enter, you'll see that the face of the cabinet here shrinks to 17 inches from 19, and this little filler space here increases to 4 inches. So that's if you had a real giant piece of hardware, that would allow your doors to not slam into it. And let's go ahead and put that back to 2 inches. And let's change the adjacent cabinet depth from 24 to, say, we'll make it 3 inches smaller. We'll go to 21 inches. So I'll hit 21 and hit enter. And you'll see that now this space is 18 inches. We still have our 2-inch clearance that we specified earlier, and the face of this cabinet increases now to 22 inches. And remember that the adjacent cabinet we're saying is 21. We get 18 here. We add our 3-inch pull to it, and that equals 21. So I'll go ahead and change that back to 24. You can also change the pull of the cabinet, and right now it's set to the default of 3 inches. Let's say I change that to 1 inch. You need this cabinet a little bit tighter to the wall. We'll go ahead and hit 1, and you'll see that the pull changes, and the face, or the opening here, also changes. So we still have that space for that 24-inch cabinet to come in here, because 23 plus 1 is 24. And just to show you here, I will bring in a 24-inch deep cabinet, and we'll bring it right in, and we'll see that it lines up perfectly. You get your 2-inch clearance, your 23-inch face with your 1-inch pull, and we'll go ahead and change that pull back to 3 inches, and you can see what happens. Our clearance changes, and everything lines up just right. So this blind corner is very, very handy for helping you figure out exactly how to build a blind corner. You very simply tell it the cabinet that's coming in on one side, the pull and the depth that you need, and it will calculate everything for you. Now, if you need this blind corner to be flipped to the other side, you can simply do that by using a SketchUp function. And all you have to do, we'll bring a copy of this blind corner out here. So you bring in a blind corner, right-click it, and say flip along, components red, and it will simply reverse it for the opposite corner.